The galactic empire of Xantheria was a breathtaking realm, with planets adorned in hues unseen to the human eye, nebulas shimmering like ethereal oceans in the endless void of space, and technology so advanced it bordered on magic. Among its many planets, one stood as the jewel of the empire, Zifra, the home of the royal family. It was a world of floating crystalline palaces, glowing forests, and rivers that sang in melodious whispers. Princess Zyra, heir to the throne of Xantheria, had never imagined that her life would take such an unforeseen turn. Born into royalty, she had been raised in the embrace of opulence and duty, her fate intertwined with the intricate politics of interstellar alliances. Marriage, to her, was not a choice, it was a strategic maneuver, a binding contract between galaxies. She had always known that one day, she would be wed to a suitor of her parents' choosing, a man who would serve not as her love but as an extension of the Empire's interests. But what she had never anticipated was that her fate would be decided in the hands of a human, a species so primitive, in the eyes of the Xantherians, that they were barely considered capable of interstellar diplomacy, let alone marriage into their exalted lineage. The moment was etched in her mind as vividly as the burning stars above. Her capture had been an accident, or at least that was what she had believed at first. A mere diplomatic voyage had turned into chaos when her ship was attacked by rogue space raiders. The commotion had led to an emergency warp jump, scattering escape pods across the uncharted expanse of space. Her pod, unfortunate yet fortunate, had landed on an unfamiliar world, Earth. Stranded, disoriented, and injured, she had been discovered by a human. Not just any human, but one who would alter the very course of her destiny. Jason Carter had been nothing more than an ordinary man in an extraordinary situation. A skilled engineer with a knack for fixing broken things, he had never imagined he'd stumble upon something, or someone, so utterly beyond his comprehension. When he found her amidst the wreckage of her escape pod, shimmering silver hair cascading over her delicate features, her violet eyes burning with defiance despite her weakened state, he knew his life would never be the same again. At first, their interactions had been fraught with tension. She was an alien princess accustomed to commanding the will of others, and he was a simple man with no patience for arrogance. But as the days passed and he nursed her back to health, something unexpected bloomed between them, a connection that defied the barriers of species and status. Zyra had been raised to believe in duty above all else. Yet, here was a man who treated her not as royalty but as an equal. He did not bow, did not submit, did not fear her lineage or the power it wielded. He spoke to her with honesty, challenged her beliefs, and most of all, he cared for her not because of who she was, but because of who she was becoming. Then came the fateful day. The Xantherian fleet, having traced the energy signature of her escape pod, arrived to retrieve their lost princess. Yet, as she stood before her people, her parents looking upon her with expectations of return, she turned to Jason and asked the question that would change everything. "You're taking me as your wife? Really?" Her voice, a mixture of astonishment and something deeper, something close to hope, rang across the expanse. Jason, standing amidst the grandeur of the Xantherian delegation, their imposing figures adorned in royal regalia, merely shrugged. "Well, yeah? I mean, if you want to." It was absurd. A human, a mere mortal from a backwater planet, daring to stake a claim to a Xantherian princess? The court gasped, the council murmured, and yet Zyra felt something she had never felt before: choice. And so, in defiance of all expectations, she chose him. She chose love over duty, the unknown over the predetermined. She chose the man who had shown her what it meant to be seen not as a princess, but as a person. Their journey was far from over. The universe was vast, and the road ahead fraught with challenges, diplomatic turmoil, cultural divides, and the ever-looming question of where they truly belong. But as they stood together, hand in hand, amidst the stars, they knew one thing for certain. Together they would carve a new path, one not dictated by fate but by the strength of their own hearts. As they left Earth behind, Jason found himself adjusting to life among the stars. The grandeur of Xantheria was overwhelming, and the scrutiny he faced as Zyra's chosen partner was immense. The council, displeased with her decision, sought to challenge their union. Jason had to prove himself, not just as a man, but as someone worthy of the Empire's future queen. He trained under the finest Xantharian warriors, learning the ways of their combat and strategy. His engineering skills found new purpose as he devised innovations that even the advanced Empire had not considered. Slowly, he gained the respect of those who once doubted him. Meanwhile, Zyra faced battles of her own. Her decision had set a precedent, shaking the very foundations of interstellar politics. Other worlds looked upon Xantharia with newfound curiosity, questioning their traditions and the limits of their alliances. Some saw opportunity, others saw a threat. Their love was tested by conspiracies, assassination attempts, and the unyielding expectations of an empire. But through it all, Jason and Zyra stood together, proving that love could transcend the stars themselves. And when the time came for Zyra to ascend the throne, she did not do so alone. She did so with Jason at her side, not as a consort, but as an equal, a symbol of change, and a reminder that destiny was theirs to shape. As their reign began, they embarked on a new mission, to unite the fractured galaxies. They sought alliances beyond those of tradition, forging bonds with civilizations that had long been ignored or deemed inferior. Jason's ingenuity and Zyra's diplomacy became a powerful force, proving that unity was stronger than division. Yet their journey was far from peaceful. Opposition arose, old enemies resurfaced, and dark secrets about Xantharia's past threatened to unravel everything they had built. But together, with love as their guiding light, they faced the storm, determined to usher in a new era, one where love and choice triumphed over duty and fate. In the end, as they stood before the vast cosmic horizon, they knew their adventure was only beginning. Together they would forge a new legacy, one not written in the stars, but created by their own hands.